Today we're gonna start Palo Alto Firewall. But before starting Palo Alto Firewall, you need to know some terminologies. So let's get into it. There is network security terms, which is a common security terminology, and I know you already know these. The first one is asset. What is asset? Anything which belongs to an organization, we call them assets. Means that can be a car, that can be a building, that can be employee, that can be a computer, data, anything, vehicles, anything which belong to a company and they want to invest on them and which is valuable for the organization, we call them assets. And every organization have different assets. Maybe if you are working a car showroom, so their assets is car. Maybe you are working at a data center, so their main services will be computer and all those stuffs. So assets can be changed organization to organizations. Why we need to know? Because we have to know about the assets was the company assets. Later on we will secure this asset. So it's called asset. The second term is vulnerability. What is vulnerability? Vulnerability means weaknesses in a system or in a protocol or in a design. We call them vulnerability. Any weaknesses. It can be human created, it can be by design, and it can be by application, it can be an operating system, and it can be by nature and protocol. The simple example I can give you of vulnerability is Telnet. We all know Telnet. When Telnet was created, in that time there was no security concept. They created for to telnet them to remotely enter to any system and do configuration. But later on, when everything become updated, so we know that telnet is weak and they are sending the data in clear text form. So it's called vulnerability. This vulnerability is in protocol. The same as sometimes you will see vulnerability in operating system, which hackers use, which we will see later on, an attack on the system. Let me give you an example of vulnerability. Let me go quickly to anywhere here and let me drag to quickly system here. Let me fire to on them. I'm going to configure a telnet and then we will see how it's vulnerable. By nature it's vulnerable because it's sending the data in clear text form. So let me go quickly in router 1. Let me on them. Just give me a minute to okay, configuration. Interface 0/0 IP address 1.1.1 and no shutdown. Configuration, let me go to configure line VTY 0 to 4 password 123 login exit enable password 123. I configure telnet on this device. Let me go to router 2 fast ethernet 0/0 IP address 1.1.2.255.0.0 and no shutdown. Okay, before let me right click here and start capture. I want to fire a Wireshark to see the traffic between these two devices. As I configure telnet here, the IP address is 111 and I will telnet from R2 to R1. It can be any case and vulnerability can be in anything which we will later see. We will use Kali Linux. I will show you many vulnerability in other devices as well. But right now, let me show you. So let's go here. Telnet 1.1.1.1. Let me telnet 123 the password, enable 123 the password, and show running. So from R2 to R1, I take a telnet. Now I'm in R1. Basically, I'm in R2, but I took a telnet. I can see here as well. Show users either who command. That they say that 112 is aligned through VTY. Let me go in Wireshark and let me filter them telnet. Here is the telnet traffic from 112 to 111. Right click on any telnet, go to follow TCP stream. Here you go. Everything is visible. The first password I use them 123. Then I put enable command. Then I put enable mode password which is 123. And then I run show running configuration. I can see all the stuffs of the router. Look at which is in clear text. This is called vulnerability. And this vulnerability is in the network protocol. By nature, telnet is sending the traffic in clear text. So it's clear to you. Now let's go to another terminology, exploit. What is exploit? Means when we use the vulnerability and attack on the systems, on services, on tool, whatever, or network, it's called them exploit. The same case like here, I use a Wireshark to see the traffic of telnet. So in this case, Wireshark is a tool which I use them because I know the network is using telnet. So I exploit them and I see the traffic. So it's called exploit. And you can use many methods to exploit things. This is just a simple example so that you can understand the terminology. Because we will use this terminology later in the course again and again. The next terminology is threat. Anything which is dangerous to the assets I just told you what is assets. We call them a threat. Normally we also use in real world that somebody give me a threat that I gonna kill you, either I will do this and that. The same is here. Anything which is danger to your asset, an organization asset, we call them threat. Threat can be a spyware which we will see later on, hackers, virus, identity theft, key logging, Trojan horses, worms, viruses, and many things. And nowadays there are many threats to your organization, to your assets. The other thing is attack. We just use vulnerability and then we exploit them, and we know the detail now that the password is 123. We can use and we can attack now on the network, and we can hack the data, we can do whatever we want. And there are many other methods to use them to harm your assets or organization. Asset we call them attack. Later I will show you DOS attack, so then it will clear to you. So either DOS attack or attack. So it means we will fire an attack, so you will see. So we call them attack. Risk. Any potential loss and compromise, we call them a risk. Normally we say it's a risky job, don't do this. In everyday life we use them as a risky job. Maybe you will lose your job, either maybe you will lose your family, don't do like this, it's very risky. The same is to your organization, to your asset, your organization asset. There is a potential loss which we don't know, so we have to care about such thing. We call them a risk. Like I'm using a telnet, so I know it's risky. Even though I'm using inside the organization, so I say no, it's okay, I'm using telnet inside organization, nobody can hack my data. Who will hack my data? Nobody is coming my organization. But it's risky. Maybe someone come to your organization and they will hack you. So we call them a risk. Because you already know this is risky at using a telnet. I'm just giving you a one example so you know the terminology. There are many things which is a risk to your assets. Now the other terminology is countermeasure. What is countermeasure? Organization, company, and security professional when they initiate and follow some procedure to mitigate the threat. I just told you the threat. It's called them countermeasure. We also use this terminology in real world as well. Means you take some action to protect the data. In countermeasure, what I will do here in this case, everybody can see my traffic. So rather than to use a telnet, I can configure an SSH. IP domain name, let's suppose crypto key generate RSA. Let me quickly do 1024. Username admin suppose. Password I put 123. Even though it's the same password. Line VTY 0 to 4 I said transport input SSH only, another telnet. I stop the telnet and login local. Now I'm doing the same thing which I did before, but this time I'm using SSH. The username is admin and the IP is this one. Let me log in 123. Enable 123 and show running. I do the same thing which I done with telnet. Let me see the traffic here. Rather than telnet, let me see this time SSH, which is SSH version 2. Let me right click and do the same job which I done with telnet. Here you will see nothing. This is a garbage data encrypted. I put only 2-3 command is become like this. So we call them a countermeasure. Why we are using risky application telnet? Why not use a SSH and recommend your organization? No, that your organization you are using telnet which is risky and anybody can hack them easily. So let's go and change to them to SSH and stop telnet. This is again I'm just giving you an example. There can be many things which we will improve. Also keep in mind 100% security is impossible. Otherwise nobody can do attack on USA and other big countries which they have a lot of resources and many things in. But we can protect to some extent. This is called countermeasure. So it means these terminologies are not, it means security is not a one-time job. It's like a circle. You have assets, maybe there will be a thread and somebody will use this one to exploit them, the vulnerability, and they will do attack on you because you are exposed. You are using weak protocol or weak operating system or any other thing which is vulnerability is there, so it's risky. We have to countermeasure to protect the assets. Again there can be another threat. Again somebody can do attack and use vulnerability. Again it's a risky. Again we have to take a countermeasure. So that's like a circle. So security is not a one-time job that you install a firewall, you install a IPS, IDS and you say that's it. Now I'm protected, I will sit back and I will watch. That's it. No. Every time you have to take some precaution and you have to use your latest tool and technology training. Many things can come under this under countermeasure to protect your asset again and again because it's like a circle. Now let's move. Also we will use this terminology later in the course. which is called malicious software. We call them a malware. Malware means malicious software. It's an umbrella term for all viruses. We call them a viruses, but by the way, it's a malicious software. And malicious software is nothing is like a file program or code, just like other application, like a document application, like other Excel application, any other application which we are using the same as malware. You know, just think about like a humans. In humans, you will find some people very bad, some people good people and bad people. Even though both are human, but some are thief, some of them are killers. Even though both are human, maybe you and me. The same as a malware. Malware is also like a application, like normal application, like a Word, Excel, all those web browser, all these are application. But we are using those application for good purpose. They are helping us. But the same way there is an application which is not good for us, which harmful to our computer, to our system, to our services. So we call them a malware. So end of the day, both are a program in code and file. Now under umbrella, there are many things like virus, worms, Trojan, rootkit, spyware, adware, scareware, botnet, logic bomb, keyloggers, snipping. All these are coming under malicious software, which we call them a malware. Like a human, there are some good human, there are some bad people. We all together call them a human. Here is call them, either we call them a bad people. Maybe in bad people there can be a killer, there can be a thief, there can be many other things. So this is just like the same malware, malicious software. Let's discuss them one by one. Like in bad people, there can be someone will be a thief. So what is thief? Like a virus. Virus is like a executable regular application. You will see like a regular application. Maybe you will face a human, maybe your friend and your anyone in your office and your co-worker and anywhere you will meet some people. When you meet them in the beginning, you will say he's a good guy, but later you will see that no, he is not a good guy. So malicious is a code which is in regular application. You will find them in a regular application. It will not harm your system, by the way. It will not damage your system until and unless somebody activate them. What does it mean by activate? Suppose you have a virus here somewhere. Suppose in my work folder, maybe virus is attached to this file. If I'm not clicking this application, it will not harm my system. It will not damage my system. Until and unless some other application open this, either I open them, click them. Either maybe I click this application and this application is a link to this application. So maybe this application will open him. So it's called virus. So virus will not execute until and unless you open them, either some other application activate them. Related to virus, let me clear them. Let me go back. There is a worm. Opposite of virus, this we call them worm. What is worm? It replicate themselves. It spread automatically. It will kill your bandwidth. It will consume your bandwidth. It will down your system. It will down your services. It will down your applications. It replicate automatically. It doesn't require any human interaction. So it's opposite of the virus. So this guy It's like a bad person. When you don't touch them, he is a good guy. He will never harm you or damage you until you touch them, either you tease them. We call them a virus. The other is adware. Adware means advertising support malware. Adware. Ware means malware. Ad means advertising support malware. Normally, you will see many advertisement like this. It will say you congratulations, you get this and that, you get a lottery, you get a American lottery, you get this, you get this. And maybe if I have somewhere the that I can show you somewhere like this way. It will show you pay me this one and that. So we call them a adware. Basically advertising. The other one is ransomware. Ransom money. You know, and normally in English we are using ransom. What is ransomware? Ransomware means basically it will lock your system. Like this one as well. And if I have an example, another, it will lock your system like this way. It will say put the key to unlock them, but you have to pay something. Then it will unlock. And recently, WannaCry was one of the attack which even in KSA, many organization has been affected by this virus ransomware. It will lock your whole system and it will show the banner and it will show you the bank account detail. They will say just put the money and get the key. When you get the key, just put the key here and unlock your system and your everything will be unlocked. Otherwise it's good for nothing. It's become encrypted. Yes, you can format your system and you can reinstall your window, but this is for us. Maybe for you and me, there is nothing. We are using, maybe we are using English movies and Indian movies. So if I can format, it's okay. But for an organization, they have many stuffs here in the system, many secret and many other things. So if they lock them, so it is also a malware. We call them a ransomware. Ransom means they need a money to decrypt your hard drive. Otherwise, just format them. That's the only thing you can do. But it will not destroy your system. It will do nothing. It will just encrypt your data. Just I show you the SSH traffic like this. You will not use them anything in your system. Everything gonna be encrypted. Now the other malware is Trojan. What is Trojan? Basically, as you know, Trojan was the Roman Trojan horse. If I can show you here, you know the story of Trojan horse. Like somebody make a wooden horse and they hide them inside the force. In Greek, you remember this story. This what is taken from this Trojan. It's called Trojan horse. So Trojan is also a malicious application which look like a regular application, but inside there is many things which can damage and harm your system and services and application. That's why initially it will look like the same story like this one. Inside there was an army inside. The same thing is here in the Trojan. So it's also one of the type of malicious software. Worm I already told you, it replicates themselves. It doesn't require any human interaction or computer system interaction. It will destroy your system very soon and can consume and down your system. Spyware. Spyware means it's collecting your system like your credit card, social security number, your information, your password. It will hide these information and will send to the hacker by using many methods. So we call them a spyware, which is spying on you, on your systems. So it's getting your data and stealing them, your information, secret information. Rootkit. What is rootkit? Rootkit is a collection of application like a kit, your football kit, your hockey kit, your cricket kit. So what is inside the kit? We have like my bed, my ball, my shoes. So we all together call them a kit. The same as a rootkit. Rootkit basically collection of these things, maybe spyware, adware, malware. You combine all these applications and use them to attack someone. So we call them a rootkit. The other is keylogger. What is keylogger? Basically, Keylogger is also a malicious software. It is like an application. Somebody will install in your system, and when you pressing any key, so it will record the keys. So whenever you type your password, your credit card number, your social security number, your passport number, whatever your Russian number, anything which you press in the key, it will record in the keylogger and it will send by a spyware to the system, to the other hackers, to the other bad guy. And he can see, okay, he pressed this key, so it means this is his password. So it's called them a keylogger. It whenever you press any key, it log them. Other one is a scareware. Scareware, it will scare you that there is a virus and this like this one, and if you don't do anything, so it will screw your system, it will damage your system, just pay this amount. So it will scare you because you are not a computer literate. We and me and you know this one, but for normal user, many in organization, many user don't know. They are not computer literate. They're just using the computer for their normal job. But if a pop-up like this come in that yeah, your system will be down and you will do this, otherwise pay something. Definitely he will afraid that yeah, this is a company system and maybe they will sue me, they will do this and that. So that's why just they just pay. So we call them a scareware. Scare means it will scare you. The other terminology is logic bomb. Logic bomb, it means the name suggests it will trigger on a specific event like a bomb, like a atom bomb. So in the time reach, it will execute. Maybe we heard about when we were using Windows XP and that time there was some virus which it trigger on a specific date and time. So we call them a logic bomb. This is also one of the example of a logic bomb. And it can be a malicious activity, it can harm your system and can run a spyware, it can run anything. But on a specific time, on a certain condition, so we call them a logic bomb. The other terminology is botnet. Bot and net. It, it made up of two words, bot and net. Bot means robot and net comes from network. So robot up the network. We call them a botnet in shortcut. What is botnet? We call them a zombie as well. Basically, somebody is using your system to attack someone else, but you don't know. Maybe you know, or either you don't know. We call them a botnet. Normally on a Facebook and chat room, they will hack your system and hiddenly they will use your system and attack any other services. End of the day, you will be catch up. So we call them a botnet or zombia. So it's affected your system and then using your system to attack some other services or users or application, whatever. So it's called them a botnet. Because these, suppose these are a system and many of them are maybe a children, maybe a girls, maybe someone who don't know. They will send a Facebook a beautiful girl picture that look at this me. When you click it, your system control is under him, and from your system he can attack someone else. So the traffic is initiating from your system, and so on. It can be many user like you, many people like you, they like the beautiful girl picture. So when they click, their system is under control. If you don't have a precaution, you don't have viruses, antiviruses, and many other things, so definitely your system is under control, and we call them a botnet. You become a botnet in Zambia, so working for him to attack someone else, but you don't know. Later in the course I will give you one example from Kali Linux how we do this one. The last terminology is DOS, denial of services. As the name suggests, denial of services. It means the service will deny that I am not available anymore. Either distributed denial of services. If you do attack from one system to one server, it's called them DOS attack. If you do from many other places like a Zombia, either from like a botnet, and you attack a someone, so it's called them DDoS attack, means distributed denial of services. From many sources you are doing attack. If you are doing from one sources, we call them a simple DOS attack. And there are many examples of DOS attack like TCP flooding attack, TCP sync flooding attack, CDP flooding attack, buffer overflow attack, ICMP flooding attack, Smurf attack, ping of death attack. Your main purpose is to down the servers which is not available to someone else. We call them a DOS attack. Let me give you an example of DOS attack so that will clear to you. Let me do one TCP sync flooding attack and one CDP flooding attack. So from these two attacks you will get the idea that what is DOS attack. Let me go here. Okay. I have a web server here. I install XAMPP server, XAMPP server, WEM server. There are many servers which you can make and make your system like a web server. So this is my web server and my IP is this one. And the service is available, it's okay, it's running. Let me go to Kali Linux. Where is Kali Linux? This one. Root and Tor. Kali Linux is a free version which is available and you can download and you can run. Okay, so first of all, let me run Wireshark so that we can see the traffic. Wireshark. One thing I need Wireshark to see the traffic and flooding attack. Okay, and with Ethernet 0. The second thing I require a browser to open that web server. It is accessible now. The web server will be accessible. I know this is web server IP. I put them in Kali Linux. Web server is this one. In Windows XP. And it's 8.201 is the IP of XP. So I open the server so it's accessible inside my LAN. I'm testing inside my LAN. But the concept is same for the other web server as well. And I also capture the traffic as well. Normally now the traffic is going. As you know, there is TCP three-way handshake. TCP sync acknowledgement and sync. As you know, we know there are three-way handshake. So now everything is working. If I say TCP, if I can show you TCP three-way handshake in the beginning, so there is TCP to make them shortcut. It's okay. So as you know, it's a basic things which we study in CCN and CCNP that TCP is working three-way handshake. This one is sync, then send acknowledgement. But now I want to do sync flooding attack. Means I will only send the sync. It's like if you want to handshake someone and when you handshake and you remove your hand, it's like this one. Now everything is working properly. I can access the web server. Look at, I can access the web server, no issue. And I can see the traffic three-way handshake is working. But let me do an attack. Let me open another terminal and let me fire an attack on this IP. Hping is the Hping is the tool in Kali Linux we are using for many other purposes, but this time I'm using for sync flooding attack. So this is flood and this is 8.0.1 is this server IP which just I show you here. This one. So let me send this sync flooding attack. It started. Here you will see the traffic only sync flooding and the web server will be not available anymore. Look at unable to contact. If I stop the attack and refresh again the page, it will work. It's working. But when I again sync flooding attack, again it will down. It's down now. And let me stop the attack and show you what I done. Basically I send them a lot of sync. Let me remove this one. I need to see there is will be many sync packet. That's why I on this Wireshark. Let me see why it's not showing to me. Otherwise I need to on again so that I can show you there will be only sync packet. Before I show you there were three packet, sync acknowledgement and sync packet, but now there are many packet which is just sync. Later maybe let me go in the end. Okay, let me, it's better to see them by TCP. Why it's not showing me? There are many. I just need the TCP packet and filter them. So there will be many sync packet only. So it's sending the packet but not taking the reverse the packet. So that's why the system receive huge data. Web server receive huge data which he cannot control and the server become down, unable to connect. For legitimate user, it is not available due to DOS attack. We send them a huge traffic. That's called DOS attack. Either let me do a DOS attack from other way as well. Let me take a switch from here quickly and let me remove this one. We don't need this. I take a switch from here and let me take a cloud here to connect to the Kali Linux. Right click on this one, go to special and my Kali Linux attached to VM8 and let me VM8 to the switch. Let me on the switch. This is Kali Linux and configure one IP so that we can attack on this switch quickly. Configure interface VLAN 1 IP address 192.168.8.50 suppose 255.255.255.0 no shutdown. Let me show you show CDP neighbor. Show CDP neighbor. I don't have any CDP neighbor because I'm connected to a system. Let me show you show CDP traffic. There are only 72 output traffic but no input, keep in mind. And let me show you show process CPU. My CPU is 0% use. Now let me do attack from Kali Linux, CDP flooding attack. Let me go to Kali Linux, open here. There are many tools available in Kali Linux which you can use for your test. Okay, the tool name is Yersina. Dash G means I need Yersina graphically. So I say open Yersina in graphical mode. There are many attacks which we can do, but right now I am doing CDP, Cisco Discovery Protocol, launch attack, and flooding CDP table. If I run this one, show CDP neighbor. Look at how many neighbor I have. Look at NS become more. After a while, the switch will down. Show CDP traffic. Let me quickly show because anytime the switch can be down. Look at this one. 70900 traffic. That's it. The switch down now. No memory available because too many traffic. It's run only for 2 minutes. So let me stop them. Otherwise, it will hang my system as well. Stop. And the switch is not anymore. If you type any command, it will not take. Okay, start it again a bit. If I run again and show CPU, show process CPU. Okay, it's 16, but if I do a take again, it will become 100%. So let me quickly fire them again. Kali Linux, and let me go to CDP launch attack, flooding CDP table, and if I control C and check again show process CPU, so it will increase now after a while. Control C, look at it's 84 now. And after 5 minutes if I run this, then even the switch will be down. So let me close them anytime it can. So let's stop attack and stop all. So it's called them a DOS attack. In DOS attack there I just show you sync flooding attack, CDP flooding attack. The same as buffer overflow. So you flow the traffic is also possible. I can show you some other time. Smurf attack I can show you. Ping update. You can send a huge packet of ping. So definitely it's also coming under DOS attack. The service will be not available anymore. So this was the basic terminology related to security.